So I came back to the screen and we put in these lows, these massive bar lows and on this imbalance, and then I took a long trade here looking to hold and push back up into this 69 here, this low volume node. And I had already finished my trade video for the day, but thought that this one was worth trying to get a video of, and it's looking real good so far. It's real tempting to take this off, but I would still give it some room to hold these 48 highs here, and quite a bit of weakness here to the left to flush all up, into this. This big seller here is going to be a concern, so I'll watch that real close and see how we handle that. But with the day that I've had, I kind of, that's a pretty sharp rejection there, so this really needs to hold. I don't want to let this come all the way back to entry, but that was a pretty hard slam down, so we'll see what happens here. I would really hate to see this come all the way back to my entry, but this has got to hold. This is kind of like make or break level here. We'll see what happens. And I just got taken out on a slam down kind of into this area here, but this is a low volume, this high volume area and these previous bar highs. So expectation would be that this would hold, but I wanted to take something out of it, so I took a +6, which is unfortunate because I really see that this can hold here and potentially move higher. But I said a +6, but I actually meant +8. And so looking at this again, this was a really large absorption bar here, and I was in ahead of this, so when this held, this gave me a lot of conviction that this was going to be a good trade to the upside. And so putting a stop back below, behind this volume makes a lot more sense, and you can see this high volume node here. But it's alright, I'll take +8. It still puts me up 45 ticks on the day, and I still definitely expect this to break these highs. I'm going to keep recording for see how this ends up playing out. I'm going to talk about this setup too a little bit more, what I was seeing, what I was looking at. So we had these two huge legs down and put in high volume here. We came back and tested this volume, and then we had this imbalance push above the zone. So at this point I'm still watching. What I was worried about in this trade is that the stops were so large here. So when we came up and then came back and tested these highs back into this balance area and value above, and came back down, and then this is where I took my entry, this imbalance push here, and I entered here on the pullback. I almost got taken out because I really had a stop down below here, so it was very close to getting taken out on the pullback. So maybe you could say I got lucky, but what did that look like here? We put in this large volume at the bottom, this buying here, and then the push and the imbalance up, and then really within 1 or 2 ticks have taken me out. And here we are now up to 55 and doing exactly what I was expecting it to do. So unfortunately my target was 69, so that would have been 31 ticks. So it sucks to take 8 on that, and so far this trade is doing everything that I expected it to do. We've now flushed this low, and we've come to the tick on this high, these highs. So it's doing everything that I expected it to do. Wouldn't be surprised to see a pullback to here at least, if not lower, but I would want to see it hold this area and then move up into this to take, flush this. The final liquidity above here, but I would probably take it off, into that 69, number 68 for 30 ticks. At least locking in 20 on the trade. And there it is. There's the 30 tick target. So instead I took 8, which I'm not going to complain about, but 8 compared to 30 because I didn't want to risk turning this into a break-even trade, which is understandable. But we were at 56, which I had 18 ticks in equity at that time. So 18 I gave back about 10. We pulled back to 44. I was taken out at 46 here, which is really nothing. I was hoping that these bar highs would hold, But this volume, this large volume area here, is far more important to the trade, and I choked it out. So I'll learn one of these days to stop doing these kind of things, but good lesson. And it's great to see that the setup and the trade and the trigger all worked perfectly. And like I said, I did get a little lucky not getting taken out here, but it worked out, and it was a beautiful trade. And came up to my line here at 69, this low volume area, to the tick.